All right. So welcome back to this week's episode of BSU. And I know last week we finished off with talking about the history of BSU and COVID-19 and how it's affecting the Black community. So we just kind of want to go back and talk a little bit more about where BSU, the Black Student Union, first started from. And I did some research on Google. And what I found was it started on a college campus out in San Francisco. And the reason why it started, one of the reasons why it started was to bring the Black students on campus together for them to have a safe space, one. Two, to also have those students support other Black students across the country who may be going through the same things that they are going through at their college and university. Three, to help all of those students become leaders so that when they go home for winter breaks, summer break, whatever it is, when they graduate, going back into the community, being leaders in those communities. And then last but not least, to unify the Black African struggle in the world, but particularly in our motherland. So that was pretty informative there. Anything you two want to add to that?
No, I think that's perfect. I just think that it's unfortunate that BSU wasn't able to disband. I mean, it started, 67, 68, something like that, 66. I don't remember. I think it's 68. And here we are in 2020. And it's interesting that that's still a necessity in today's society. It would have been amazing if, they would have had that platform back then and they would have made everything into roses and peaches and cream and everything would have been great. But here we are still today. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm appreciative as a Black woman that we have a platform to connect and talk about issues that affect us specifically. However, how awesome would it have been if we felt, not still, because we didn't before, if we were able to feel like everything was equitable, that we didn't need it.
Yeah, I'm just really thinking about what was going on in our country's history in the 60s, especially the late 60s. And I think it sometimes is easy for us to think that there's been so much change and so much progress. But I think when we look at BSUs across the country, I think there's a difference between gathering to celebrate and to have joy versus gathering to get through oppression. And I think BSUs kind of do both things. But I agree with you, Dennetra. It'd be really great if it was just purely joyful and not having to work through some really hard experiences that I know Black students have on college campuses.
Yeah, and I guess
people have Black students on college campuses, but just black people, period. Not even just Black Americans, youth, adults, just everyone. Just having that platform to work through it, Keira, absolutely makes a difference. Sorry, Tori, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. And I think it's cool that there are different institutions and organizations out there that do have Black student unions, or they have the ability for youth to kind of get together and form something that is a safe space for them and to represent them in their community. So I definitely think that's cool. Another thing we talked about last week that I mentioned earlier was COVID-19 and how it's affecting the Black community. But this week we want to talk just a little bit about what we are doing to stay healthy, and then a challenge we have for you all out there. So I know one of the things that I'm doing to stay healthy, I'm just drinking more water, taking vitamins, and then just trying to get more vegetables and fruits into my diet throughout the day. So that's kind of it. Oh, and going outside, getting some fresh air, taking my dog on a walk. That's pretty much it. What are you two doing to stay healthy during COVID-19?
I've been doing yoga, working out in the morning, yoga at night, just to kind of decompress before I go to bed to ensure I sleep better. And you already know I'm a big vegetable fan, so that was never a problem, getting extra produce in my diet. And I already took vitamins, but I am just being more mindful also about my perspective. When I'm getting upset about something, before I jump into lashing out at someone, I take a step back, take a breather, pray on it, make sure I'm okay. And if it wasn't a pandemic, would I still be this mad? and try to be understanding of what the other person's perspective is. I mean, I do that all the time, but I'm especially mindful of it right now, understanding that people might be under additional stress that
Right.
you weren't under in February, for example.
For sure.
Yeah. And then I think something that I'm doing too, just to honor that, I mean, like, it's so true that all of us are experiencing a level of stress. And so being kind and giving grace to others who are like experiencing that stress, but also giving grace to myself that like, you know, making sure that I do get that fresh air, making sure I go on a run so I can kind of get some energy out or some anxiety out, because, you know, the world is just really changing. And then just also running and kind of cardio helps your lungs stay strong. And that's just one small way that you can kind of help your lungs to stay strong, even when it seems like we're sitting around all day. And then the other thing that I am doing as a singer and as a voice teacher is I'm singing a lot. And singing is like yoga in that you have to be focusing on that breath, right? So like you tank up, and then when you sing like a phrase of a song, you have a controlled release of that air. So you're kind of working out your lungs as if they were a muscle. So that's definitely part of my like daily intention, is to get some singing done so I can work out my lungs.
See, I didn't know that. So you mean to tell me all I be doing in the shower, I'm helping my lungs? Hey, me.
Yep,
Which is
yeah.
essential, I think, given the fact that COVID-19 is attacking our respiratory system. It's important to do the kind of little things. And now that I know that singing makes a difference, I'll be sure to hit a tune every day. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing, Keira.
Singing helps with mental health too. It boosts your endorphins, makes you feel better usually. So
That's good.
Oh,
Anything else you want to add with COVID-19?
Something that I've been seeing in the news actually is that there's this doctor, Kizzmekia Corbett. She is this amazing Black woman, and she's working at the National Institute of Health to develop a vaccine.
Okay.
And usually vaccines take years and years and years to make. This is what she has said on a CNN interview. Usually vaccines take years and years and years to make, but under her leadership at the National Institute of Health, they have been kind of just keeping their eye out and gathering resources just in case something like this happened. And so that means that their work is going super, super fast. And they're hoping that if all goes well, they're in clinical trials right now. They're in phase 1 clinical trials, just testing to see if it's safe for humans. But if all goes well, they're hoping to roll out a working vaccine by the fall for emergency healthcare workers, for people who are like constantly being exposed. So that's something that, even though it's kind of dark times, that is like giving me so much hope to know that there's somebody who is like working on it, who will take our community into account too when working on this.
For sure.
That is awesome. We had kind of heard something about that. One of our team members had shared, actually 2 team members had shared some information on that. So I think that is super cool, to have someone that looks like us, spearheading that project, which is awesome. I mean, I think it's important that we as a community are more considerate of STEM opportunities, getting into those fields so that we can be more represented, as you said, Keira. To have someone that will take our community into consideration when they're making these vaccines. I think that is amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
I was just reading her bio earlier, and I guess she got into STEM through a high school project called, I think it was Project Seed in Maryland. So I'm not sure that there's a Project Seed out here in Appleton, but she figured out that she wanted to be a scientist as early as high school, which I think is also super cool.
That's great.
Wow.
Okay, well, thought you had something else to add. Sorry, Dennetra. The video was a little behind, but that's cool because hopefully just by providing that information, the scholars that are watching the video, hopefully they that will maybe kickstart someone's future goal into going into the STEM field, or just going to college in general, which is also a great thing. And that reminds me, the whole college point of it. Next week Saturday, I believe there is this Saturday, there is a HBCU virtual tour. HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. So, like I said, there is a virtual one. I joined the first one, and it was super cool. It was a bunch of historically Black colleges and universities kind of on a Zoom call together, and they just did a virtual tour of their campus and just, highlighted a lot of good things about the school, like admission requirements, what it's like for students on campus, and just the beautiful campuses. So it's super great. I will challenge the youth that are watching the video, the scholars that are watching the video. If you have the time, register for it. It's completely free. So that's super cool. Excuse me. And just a little bit of history about historically Black colleges and universities. I believe there's a little bit over 100 historically Black colleges and universities across the world. Not across the world, I'm sorry, across the nation. So that's super cool right there. Yeah, I don't know if you two heard about the virtual tour, but like I said, it was super cool when I joined the first one. I do plan on joining the second one, and hopefully some of our scholars join, and maybe that will spark some more conversation.
Well, I will definitely be joining. I already signed up for it actually, and I'm looking forward to everyone sending us feedback when they watch it and let us know what you thought. Let us know which schools caught your attention and why. I didn't go to a HBCU, but truth be told, I wish I had. No shade against the school I went to. My school is phenomenal. It was the only school I applied to, even though I was a 4.0 AP student, because that was the only one I wanted to go to. My mom had told me that I should go to a HBCU, and at the time I didn't see the value. There wasn't anyone else encouraging me to go, and as when your parents tell you things, you don't want to do what they say. So there wasn't a push for it when I was going to school and looking at going to colleges. But gosh, I wish I had opportunities like this to see a virtual college tour or to go to the colleges. I hadn't even heard of it until my mom mentioned it. So yeah, I wish I had but I'm definitely getting on that tour this weekend.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Dennetra. I really, my grandmother and my auntie both went to an HBCU, and I really wish that I had. Halfway through the college that I did go to, I thought about transferring. I looked into the transfer requirements because it was just, it just seemed like so much more nourishing and nurturing. And so, yeah, I will have to hop on that call this weekend too to vicariously get that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not go to HBCU either. There's parts of me that I'm like, I wish I would have went. And like you said earlier, Dennetra, no shade to the institution I went to because I loved it. It's just, one of those things that's like, I wish I would have did it. My brother graduated from a HBCU, and I have cousins now, my younger cousins, who are now students at HBCUs, and even the younger cousins who are in high school now, they are going on HBCU tours and they want to do it. So I kind of like live my experience that I wanted through them, like, oh, so how's college going and whatnot. But it's definitely something to check out. And like I said, I hope some of our viewers get a chance to view the virtual tour, and that's a challenge. So register for it. Hopefully we get to hear more from you about it. And
yeah, I have some family members that did the HBCU thing as well. My sister-in-law and a number of friends, and my goddaughter is going to a HBCU this fall. I'm so excited. So yeah, I definitely echo everything both of you said. Wish I had, didn't get that chance, didn't take advantage of the chance, I should say. But there's always next time or another life. Anyone have anything they want to close out with before we go?
Yeah, and we just want to put out there too, or I just want to put out there too, no matter what college you choose to go to, we give you, all the praise and whatnot. So yeah, keep that in mind. Another challenge for everyone watching. Try this week, try to do something that you have not done. Maybe challenge yourself to eat vegetables or eat more vegetables, or go outside for a walk, or go for a little bit of a longer walk. So that should help. But that's all I got. We appreciate you all viewing us. So, Denetra, you got any last things you want to say?
No, thank you for joining. Those are great tips. Who can follow that, Tori? Who can follow that?
All right. So, everyone, have a good one. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Peace.
Good night, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all the education and activities this evening at the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Fox Valley Teen Talk. We really enjoyed bringing this to you and look forward to bringing you even more in the days to come. We miss you all very much. From the staff of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Fox Valley, be well, be safe, and be you, because you are the best at it.